Hey, what's up everybody? This is Seth Keeping It Real. This is the next episode of Steal This Tutorial. Why? Because it's free and you may steal it. It is yours for free. I started with a single dime and instead of allowing it to disappear, I decided to double it and multiply it until it became margin for me and those I love. So I hope this helps you to do that today. Boom, let's do it. Today I'm gonna give you 3 tips for communicating with Chinese suppliers. Now, a lot of Americans and people in Europe don't understand the Chinese. So I'm gonna take years of experience as a multi-million-dollar Amazon seller, along with other coaches on our team, and take all of that knowledge and give it to you to show you how do I communicate with the supplier in a way that allows me to get the product built exactly the way I want. Tip number 1, you need to write in short paragraphs. Remember that the Chinese salesperson on the other end of the line or the email, English is not their native tongue. So if you're writing in English, you have to understand it's gonna confuse them if you write in big, long blocks of sentences. And if you do this, it's gonna create several problems for you. First of all, the chance of the supplier responding to the entire message is slimmer than a skinny latte. Chinese don't think like this in big, long paragraphs. Even in school, the way they're taught to write is they do one block at a time. The essay style is very foreign to their thinking. So let's just say they do read, however, this mile-long paragraph that you spent hours on. The representative is a particularly patient reader in this case. They're probably only gonna respond to 1 or 2 parts of your 10-part messages. A lot of people, they'll say, wait a minute, how come they ignored this, this, and this, and they get offended? Well, that's not how they think. So you want to write in a short, abbreviated paragraph because that's how they were taught in school growing up. Also, long paragraphs are a waste of your time. There's only a couple things you need to find out from your supplier at the beginning. First of all, the big question is, can they actually build the product for me? If they can't build the product for you, all your other questions are a waste of your time and theirs. So get to the point quickly. Tip number 2, use basic English. Chinese nationals did not grow up speaking English, so this means it will take them longer to read the message and details are gonna be missed, and they're highly likely to misinterpret something if you don't make it crystal clear. Now let me give you a bad example of a very common letter that people will write to a Chinese supplier, their first message via email, typically on Alibaba. Hello, Cynthia. I am the founder of a US-based company specializing in aromatic experiences for small, sensitive Americans working in the white-collar industry. I would love to see if you can create the model I am proposing, following the specs I included in the attachment with this message. Also, are you a trading company? Also, do you sell on Amazon? Also, how much do these samples cost? Also, what payment methods do you take? Also, what are my shipping options? I'd also like to know your production capacity as our market share increases over the next 12 months. One more question. Can you send me samples as soon as you're able? Thank you so much, Cynthia. Sincerely, Lucy. So that is a very bad example of your first letter, your email to a supplier.
And not just because of the British accent.
Yeah. This is important. I understand you have hundreds of questions. You want to know all these things. Come on, answer this, this, and this. But if you want to be effective, you're trying to make money, you want that product to be built the way you need it, then take the time to bring it down, simplify it, and only focus on the things that matter the most. And that is, can they actually build it for me? Now, let me give you a good example of a letter to a supplier. And notice carefully, don't follow every detail. This is just a template, but it gives you an idea. Notice the structure and how simple it is. And notice, if you can, what I focus on. Hello, Cynthia. I own a US company that sells aromatic oils and accessories. I am looking for a manufacturer who can create an aromatic oil holder. I am looking for a manufacturer to build a strong friendship with for long-term business relationship. I would love to see if you can create the model I need. Please, look at the specs in the image I attached to this email. I would appreciate your prompt response. A good business relationship matters much to me. Sincerely, Lucy. And notice I wrote in simple English. Again, your supplier's native tongue is not English, so make it as easy for them to read as possible. And make sure you write it in an English accent. You'll get better conversion. I'm just kidding. Otherwise, If you don't use simple English, you're gonna waste your time going back and forth and having to re-explain yourself. Then you get upset. Then the supplier feels like you're kind of rude. And before you know it, what could have been an awesome opportunity just ended up in divorce. And you don't want that to happen. Notice also, I did not do some elaborate spin of an introduction, like I represent this company and we're a multi-million-dollar company and we have all these employees and all this BS that people do to try to impress them. Hey, if you're new at this, tell them you're new at this. They don't care. What they care about are two things, and you probably noticed them: long-term business relationship, and second, friendship. Friendship is extremely important to the Chinese. Chinese suppliers are not impressed by elaborate introductions, so keep it really simple. Pro tip, Chinese suppliers already understand all the Incoterms and typical terms like DDP, freight forwarding, air express, by ship, by sea, FOB, all of this stuff is familiar to them. So don't worry about simplifying those. They're really good at those terms because they live and breathe this every day. In fact, at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a free tool. This tool will give you a list of all the most common terms used in shipping when working with suppliers and a super clear breakdown of exactly what they mean. That means when you go talk to your supplier, they're gonna be impressed. They're gonna think you know a little more than you do, which will increase their trust, which will give you a better chance at negotiating a better deal, and each unit price you can reduce down through negotiation. But that's another topic and we go really deep on that. Members only. Real quick recap. Tip number 1, write in short paragraphs. Tip number 2, write in basic English. And now for tip number 3, focus on what the supplier values first. Now, human nature, we all focus on what we want, right? You're hungry, I want food. Well, guess what? You have to pay money for the food or go grow the food first. You have to think about what's valuable to them. You have to give them the dollar before they give you the sandwich. Okay, maybe in the 1950s it was $1. Now it's like $7, but you get the idea.
This sandwich is flawless.
In the same way, think about that on a big scale with your business. If you want to become a great negotiator and make a lot of money, first learn to think about what they want. Once you understand, you can, in a good way, manipulate, leverage that, even, I hate the term, but exploit that to your advantage in an honest way so that you get what you want. And I promise you at the end, everyone's gonna be more happy. Now let me show you exactly how to do this. Rule number 1 in negotiation is to focus on what the other party values first. Then it's really easy to get what you want. Now, you probably already know, if you've been watching this video from the beginning, what they value. They value friendship and business relationship. And not just business relationship, but long-term business relationship. Just consider this for a moment. You're a supplier, and every day you get 100 people asking you for samples and costs and MOQs and all this stuff. And you realize that the majority of them, first of all, won't even buy. Then the next level will buy once and they're goodbye, they never see you again. But a few of them are actually really good business people who understand business, who know the market, and they're gonna bring you multiple orders. That's the kind of person your supplier wants to talk to. If you can be that person to your supplier from day 1, I promise you, you're gonna get better prices. Now, pro tip, really quick. When you negotiate, ask twice. Not once, not 3 times. This is a general rule of thumb. With an exception, if you're in the Ewu market, don't ask more than once because they all know each other and they all expect the price to be at a certain level and they're just gonna get offended at you and no one will give you a good price. But when you're online on 1688, on Alibaba, Global Trade, any of these places, or through email through Alibaba, ask twice for a better price. And the way you negotiate is you ask them, well, how much would it be for 5,000 of these? Now, I know you're probably thinking, well, Seth, I can't afford 5,000, I can afford 500. I know, but hear me out. Just the fact that you ask for 5,000 increases their trust to you, for you, and it increases your credibility to them. Therefore, they think, whoa, I have money to pay for that, okay. And so well, we would give you 30 cents off per item at the 5,000 quantity. Then you go back and you say, perfect, if I buy 1,000, can you give me that price? And watch what happens. Just try it. You're gonna notice something weird as this happens, and don't let it creep you out. They're gonna start calling you dear, especially the women Chinese representatives will do this. Hello, dear. You're like, what do they mean by dear? And they're gonna call you friend, especially the men. They'll say, hello, friend. And you're thinking, this is the first time I've ever talked to this person. I'm already their friend, even though they live on the other side of the world in a different culture and country and language. What in the world's going on? I'll tell you exactly what's going on. They're speaking in terms that are valuable to them. So if you call them friend back or call them dear back, just understand you are speaking what's valuable to them, the relationship, the friendship. Friendship is not some cover thing for doing business. They actually enjoy the friendship. People in China work ridiculous hours. I don't know if you've heard of the rule that Jack Ma was proposing, but the idea is that you work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Now I know us Americans would be like, I can't do it. And you entrepreneurs are like, I work more than that. I get that. But they work so hard that relationship, the fact that you're being friendly to them, that you're being nice, that you're asking them how their day is doing, is probably 100 times more important to them than you. So when you do this, guess what, guys? You're going to save money. And even if it's just 50 cents per unit, it's 1,000 units, you just saved $500 in your bank. Why? Because you took the time to focus on what's valuable to them and not just what's valuable to you. Kind of like when you go to the sandwich station, like, I need food, or like, okay, where's the money? Focus on what they need first, then you can get what you need. Heck, that even works in marriage, parenting. Oh my goodness, we should talk about this. I want you to look one more time at the message I shared with you, the good example, because the British accent was a little better. No, not really. But the good example of the message you send to your supplier. Now notice a couple things I said. I said this: we are looking for a good business relationship with a manufacturer. Now, I get it. That English sounds a little bit 10-year-old-ish. Yes, but remember, to them, their language ability is probably close to a 4 or 5-year-old. I don't mean that as an insult. That would be me trying to speak Chinese, even worse. Probably more close to a newborn, if that's even possible. So make sure you focus on the business relationship, the friendship. Think about the long term. This is so important. And if you do that, they're gonna respect you for it. Notice something else I said in that message. I said, I am looking for a manufacturer to build a strong friendship. Now, I know that sounds weird in America. I didn't go find a supplier so we could become buddies. Heck, if I need a friend, I have a dog. He's my best friend, other than my wife. That's not what we're talking about. Focus on the friendship, even if it feels meaningless to you, because they're gonna be going, I kinda like this person. This person means something to me, and they actually enjoy talking to you. I have one thing I want you to do, and I think you're going to love it. I want you to look below in this video, see that link that talks about Incoterms, terms for factories that most people don't understand. If you click it, it's 100% free. It will give you all the most common shipping terms you need to know, with a description and a breakdown and categories to make your life easier. And guys, leverage that when you're talking to a supplier so you can make more money. Hey, this video is a still this tutorial. It's completely free. If you enjoyed it, if you loved it, please subscribe, say something below. Even if critique my British accent, that's my challenge. Tell me how was it, be honest, for those of you guys who live in the wonderful UK. See you later.